He does not observe what comes of that, instead roaring, as he spears his arm into the floor to force himself to a stop. He immediately flips himself around and back into bestial posture, and again his rear foot annihilates the floor. The quake rocks the mansion, the carpets suffer in the destruction, flying about in tatters. Shreds of red cloth catch on Garfield as he soars. Garfield. Elsa, ah ha 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 ha. Elsa plummets down from the ceiling, swinging her blade, which strikes against the zooming Garfield's shield. The shockwave stabs through eardrums as destruction rocks the moonlit corridor. Elsa laughs as she rebounds, making a breakneck flip sideways. The force of the slash has thrown Garfield's course, sending him plummeting headfirst into the wall. He busts through the stonework to land gracelessly in a guest room. Plumes of white dust shadow the areas as Garfield grabs the leg of the nearby bed. His biceps swell as he easily lifts the 100-kilo bed and tosses it out the hole he just came through. Boom, bust, and from beyond the bisected bed comes the black woman's thrown blade. Garfield parries it with his left shields, and uses his right to slam the approaching Elsa in the face. But she ducks, and the strike merely grazes her braid. The end of her black hair tickles the tip of Garfield's nose, when he then obeys the terror rushing up his spine and immediately zooms forward. He barely manages to dodge the slash coming to slice up through his groin, his back instead taking the hit as he blasts through the door. The battle zone relocates to the corridor. Giving him no time to catch his breath, Elsa comes zooming in pursuit of Garfield. Garfield kicks at her skinny waist. A hit isn't what it feels like. Elsa contorts her body strangely to evade, and dodges the shockwave from the kick by shifting, so that it merely brushes her belly. Garfield stands stuck with his leg outstretched as the blade of Elsa's kukri butches the air, closing in. This isn't like the attack she fired before when cornered. If Garfield tries to catch this in his mouth, the speed and force of the thing will slice his head in two. Garfield's decision is instantaneous as he catches the sweeping blade on his right shield, allows its path to continue to his left shield, and then away. Shrieking metal. Showers of red and yellow sparks. Dark eyes opened in surprise, and the woman's exposed belly. Garfield roars as he slams his raised leg to the ground. He takes his stance and moves to drive his fangs into Elsa's torso, intending to quite appropriately rip open her guts. Garfield. That he aborts his lunge and uses the momentum to pull his head in instead can only be called instinct. Late to dodge, Garfield's left ear goes flying off, and he takes evasive action through the spray of blood. He puts his foot to the wall, dodges the oncoming strike by shooting to the ceiling. Dodges entirely. Garfield's outstretched arm rips through the ceiling, leading part of the upper floor to collapse. This creates an opening in Elsa's pursuit, which Garfield uses to escape. His hands and feet land on the carpet, and Garfield uses his palm to put pressure on the bleeding coming from his head and its missing ear. He takes a ragged breath. Grits his teeth at the burning pain. He sees Elsa cut through the thick smoke, walking closer, and smiles. Garfield, why fuck? Am pretty sure I'm meant to turned your left arm useless. Elsa, you're right. It hurt. But people's wounds do heal. Garfield, this is just goin' of my piddly knowledge, but when a mangled arm fucking heals we ain't talking about humans anymore. Or really, it's transcending the category of living creature. Garfield may have his EARTHSOUL blessing, but he still needs several hours if he's going to make a shattered arm operable again. When on mana-rich Earth, and doing everything he can to slack off. That she can heal during battle, and so quickly, is ridiculous. Subaru had told him beforehand that she doesn't die even when you kill her, and now Garfield's initial speculation feels legitimate. Garfield, which makes things quick. You ain't a human. Dunno if you were born one, but either way you're at least stopped being one. Elsa, you don't look it, but you're surprisingly clever. Garfield, I told you it only makes me happy when it's Ram praising me. And anyway I got an idea about your weird healin' dot. Jabbing out his finger, Garfield states his speculation. Despite everything and despite how surprising it may sound, Garfield likes books. With nobody to rival him in strength in the boring sanctuary, reading became an important time-killing activity for him. But that said, the books Garfield likes are adventure novels, myths, folklore, things in that vein. His interests unfortunately do not land on anything productive for procuring knowledge. Garfield, NTH books my amazing self read, there were lots of monsters, heroes, those kind of things where you don't know if they really existed. And there was one VM just like you. Elsa, I'd like it if you didn't equate me to a phantasm from a picture book. Garfield, it wasn't a picture book, was one M full A letters. Did have some pictures in it, but whatever, that don't matter. And I can't say clearly it was a phantasm. Looking indifferent, Elsa listens to Garfield. This thing where she entertains conversations to the end really does jar with the ferocious impression she gives while fighting. Garfield have that face of hers going pale. Garfield, after all, you're same as 1v the old witches. Elsa, the swaying motion of her dagger halts. Elsa's dark eyes look nonchalantly at Garfield. He jabs his finger at her. Garfield, you're a goddamn vampire. Elsa, not that I drink blood or anything. With a sigh, Elsa kicks off the ground. Her left arm has healed completely. She wields kukri in both hands as she closes in on Garfield. He blocks she's sweeping slash by raising his shields, simultaneously shooting his right leg out to kick her, and Elsa launches her own kick along the exact same trajectory, the two of them crashing feet first into each other and blasting away. Garfield, not fucking cool. Your arm's seriously all back to normal. Elsa, but didn't you heal your ear as well, while you were buying time? We're even. Garfield mentally sticks his tongue out at her. During their time talking, Garfield used the hand plugging his wound to heal the injury with magic. He hopes for the missing section of his ear to steadily come back, but if he suffers a wound equal to what Elsa suffered, then Garfield's healing magic will only amount to a quick and dirty stopgap. Garfield, you ain't denying it. So you really are a vampire? Elsa, people can call it whatever they want. I don't suck blood, and my meals are ordinary. When I'm in the sunlight, all that happens is that the guards get riled, so it's not really anything special. Garfield, so you're on about guts so much because you're a vampire? Elsa, that's particular to me. I just like gazing at fresh guts and touching warm-looking intestines. Garfield, that's way fucking creepier. Elsa sheds and dumps her impeding black cloak. Garfield judges that Elsa's motivation has spiked even further and clicks his teeth. He batters his shields together. Garfield, "S a big world, bit ve a drag, but you better pull it off, Captain." With that, Garfield roars as he swings his shields down at the oncoming Elsa. He opens the door, and what comes from the room is the scent of paper. Perhaps the cloying the smell carries the weight of all the days and years spent closed inside this space. Or perhaps if you consider the appellation a time-stopped room, days have nothing to do with it. Subaru, just got stuck with some time in sanctuary to think about all that stuff. And your answer's another thing I want to hear. Beatrice, how come? Without the librarian's permission, Subaru enters the archive. As always, the mood here is both melancholy and tranquil. There are no windows to let in sun, or for ventilation. Staying here a long time is bound to worsen your mood and your health. And especially so when the expression of the girl watching Subaru is so utterly exhausted. Beatrice, how come you managed to reach this room again, I suppose? I don't remember calling you, in fact. Subaru, sorry, but showing up uninvited is just who I am. Impossible to forget that time back in middle school where I showed up uninvited to a friend's birthday party, and made the whole thing awkward. Even dense Subaru decided to be more prudent after that one. Though, since he announced, well, that's all for today, and left noisier than anyone else, he stopped getting invited to anybody's birthday party. Subaru, it's miserable and my heart's about a second from popping, so let's cancel that topic. Beatrice, you're the one who brought it up, I suppose. You're like that about everything, doing things always of your own accord, in fact. Subaru, yup, always of my accord. So no matter how much you hate it, I'm here. He sees the girl swallow her breath. After respectfully bowing his head in a way that she can see it, Subaru, I'm taking you out of here, Beatrice. I'm dragging you out into the sunshine, where we'll play until your dress is caked utterly brown with mud. Beatrice sits as she always does, on the stepladder, cradling herself. With the black tome cradled in her arms as always, her wavering eyes gaze at Subaru. End of chapter 123A.